Hey everyone, we want to welcome you to Awaken's second video. I'm Joshua Mattson,
I'm Matthew Sanchez.
and we want to tell you guys exactly what the vision is for Awaken. And there's already questions out there of what is it. We saw the video, we want to know more. And so we're here right now to describe what the vision is, what we see it growing into, and what we want it to become. So, Matthew?
First things first, we got 150, 160 views on our very first video.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was probably wondering, like, hey, Matt doesn't post anything. What is he doing?
Yeah.
So if you guys followed everything, you guys got to see everything. Thank you very much.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
The second day, I think it kind of like slowed down a little bit, but we still had like 160 views, which
That's pretty exciting.
yeah, for one day, and we've never done this before. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
We're getting better each time at this. Thank you very much. But like Josh said, we want to explain a little bit more about what Awaken is. We were getting questions. People were asking us stuff, and it was like, what do we tell them? Like this vision's so big. Like, how do we explain it? Like, and I'm just gonna explain how Awaken came about. I was in the midst of losing everything. I when I say everything, I mean job wise. Everything I built, everything that I put together, and everything I thought I was supposed to be doing, was slowly being stripped away from me. One thing by like one, it was just like, okay. When I say I was losing something, I mean it was $1,000 job a month, so that was an income for me. And it was like the Lord was like, hey, I'm going to take this away from you. That was $1,000. And I'm like, okay, I could still survive like with $4,000, $4,000 still coming in, I got that a month, and then it was kind of like the Lord was like, I'll let you stable out and try to figure out where you need to be. And then once I got stable, there was another thing ripped away. And now I'm at $3,000. It was $1,000 every time. And I'm like,
No.
yes.
No.
Who wants to have $1,000 taken away from somebody? Like, it's
that's a big loss.
that is a big loss. And I was like, in my mind was like, oh no, that's $2,000 now. And the next thing I know, I got another $1,000 ripped away from me. And I'm like, okay, the pain's got to stop now. I got bills, I got stuff to be paid, and at that whole time I thought I was getting caught up with all my bills. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm finally catching up with everything. My car payment, my credit cards, everything was getting caught up. And then it was just like everything was being stripped away. And I'm like, no, dude, like this can't be happening right now. This cannot be happening right now.
Would you say that each time though that something was taken away, you got closer to the Lord? That you started to listen a little more intently?
It was more like, Lord, what is going on right now? My prayers became more frequent. And I'm like, Lord, what is going on right now? The last straw for me, I had $2,000 coming in. One thing ended up happening, another $1,000 was taken away. And I'm like, oh, dude, you got to be kidding me right now. I'm down to $1,000. Well, like a week later, after I lost my last $1,000, a week later, somebody had told me, hey, I can't pay you anymore. That was my last $1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all I could do was just laugh, you guys. I was like, literally just, I was like, okay.
Joy in the midst of trial.
Yes, I was just laughing. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. That's great. I'm down to nothing within a couple of months, So at the time when I lost everything, Josh, I lost everything. I'm making nothing. I still kept going.
Right.
I really was like, I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm called to do something. I'm called to do something.
Yeah.
And the next morning when I lost my last $1,000, the next morning I wake up. All I have on my mind is write a list. And I'm like, write a list? I didn't know what the list was. Like, what am I supposed to write? Like, I've never done this before. Like, I don't wake up and just be like, write a list.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. I go to the computer. I look at Google Sheets. So I'm looking at Google Sheets. And it's all a bunch of little squares, right? Google Sheets is a bunch of little squares. And the next thing I know, I'm like, okay, what do I do? What am I writing a list for? Mm-hmm. And I heard very clearly, write the people that you know.
So he was starting to download into you.
Yes.
What he had planned for you.
I started writing people I know. So I'm like, okay. So I start writing these people down. And I'm like, okay. I'm down to like 30 people. I'm like, that's a lot of people. And most of those people I've had great relationships with. There are people that I've never done anything wrong with them. I get along with everybody, to be honest with you, Josh.
Yeah.
I've been blessed, to be honest.
Right.
There are people that would do anything for me. Like if I said, hey, I'm doing something over here at a park, or I have an event that I'm trying to throw. All right, what do you need?
Yeah,
like,
I'm coming.
Yes.
I'll be there. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like, thank you.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, though, when I'm writing this list, was the list kept getting bigger. And what it was is that I feel like there's a sound out there that the Lord hasn't released. There's a sound. So Awaken is when I very first heard, when I needed to write down a list, they were all musicians. They were all people that played it, like they sing or something, play an instrument.
Right. Talented in one area or another.
Yes, they are very talented, but they all have jobs. They're all doing something. They're all like
everyday people.
Exactly. The world that they're doing, what we call the world, right? Like we're living. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I got was Awaken, and you see all these little dots in the background. What I was seeing was a frequency that the Lord hasn't released, and there's a sound out there for people when we enter worship, that God's going to release a sound that's never been released over this earth, and everybody's going to know about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he wants to use us to do that. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So when I was writing this list, the list kept getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. I have about 50 people on the list right now. They're not all musicians anymore.
Right. So tell us, what is the other group of people or types of people that are on there?
So they're engineers, people that can build apps. Everybody has their special gift. And I think what was happening when I was writing this list was we all have something. We all have something within us that needs to be let out. Mm-hmm. And we need to awaken that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it's been dormant.
Right.
And when we try to do something, a lot of us try to do things alone.
Right. Yeah, no one can do it better than me. If I want it done right, I got to do it myself. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like, we try to do things ourselves. I was doing that. Mm-hmm. I was trying to Photoshop. I was trying to do video editing. I was trying to do pictures. I was filming.
Yeah.
I was trying to travel. I was trying to I was trying to do it all. And I think when I was losing everything, the Lord was telling me, listen, I want you to listen to me. That was the only way he could get my attention.
Yeah. Right. Remove distractions.
Exactly.
Make you rely on him. Yeah. Start talking to him.
That's where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening at that time because I was like, Lord, what is going on? I need some clarity. What is happening? What do you want me to do now? My prayers started getting a little bit different now.
Yeah. Right. A little more heart into it.
Yes. Yeah. So when I'm saying that we're starting what Awaken is, and people are asking what Awaken is, it very first began with, I wanted people of music, like musicians and talent that I know that can get lost in the presence of the Lord. Mm-hmm. So that's what it ended up starting as. This thing is growing to something that I can't even explain to anybody. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a network system now.
Yeah, like a self-sustaining environment of people. Right, everybody has a certain gift to give, right, in a certain way that they can serve that serves others. And as we're all serving each other, not just with musical instruments, but with our talents, with our skills, with our abilities, it's building the body of Christ. And it's like a self-sustaining environment. And you want to bring as many people as you possibly can into this environment so that we can all live off of each other, right?
Yes.
And support each other and not feel like we have to do everything by ourselves, right? Living on our own will, right? But relying on the body, relying on the church, right?
Yes.
Relying on God's people to help us do everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is that we rely on the world to run our lives.
Yeah.
When we have people all around us that could be doing what the world does. Mm-hmm. There's a banking system, there's musicians, there's people out there that do car insurance, they cut hair, whatever it is.
Right.
We're all good at something. But the thing is like I just mentioned the banking system, we give them the money and we have no idea what they do with that money. Does that help anybody? So this whole Awaken thing is huge. I have it written down on an Excel sheet. Yeah. The Lord knew I was going to need an Excel sheet because I went to Google Sheets right away and started writing all this stuff down. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting downloads of stuff, right? And I'm just writing it down. They always say to write stuff down, guys.
Right.
I've never done it in my life. Never done it. I've never done it. Do you write stuff down?
I do.
I know you do. I see it all the time. This guy should have been in my life 5 years ago.
When he gives me something, I write it down because it isn't going to become real for me until I write it down. If he gives me a word, if he gives me a vision, if he speaks to me in some way, right, or some event happens, right, I have to write it down. Because it's only then will I remember it, will I be able to meditate on it, right? And then go back to it and be like, oh, I understand now, right? You told me this a long time ago. This relationship was already becoming fruitful long ago, as like I can see because I've been recording the things that have been happening. It doesn't become real unless I write it down.
Yeah, that's what was happening with me. So I'm writing all this stuff down. I'm looking at it because at the very beginning, I'm like, what is this? I'm like you guys right now.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What is this?
Right.
And so as I keep building the list, finally, like 2 weeks later, I finally look at this list and I look back and I'm like, I know what this list is. So I'm looking at it and I look back. there's a little trophy right there. Grab that trophy.
Yes. The trophy.
I look back and I see this trophy and I start laughing. I start laughing because what is going on with what I'm writing has to do with this trophy. And that I was given this little trophy at my last job that I worked for 15 years at. And go ahead.
Best director.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that and I just start laughing. But I got that like, I want to say like 8 years ago. 8 years ago at my job, it was a video that I did for my work. Everybody liked the video. We did the video at the work and we had to turn it in. And long story short, it was just a rap video. Believe it or not, yeah, that's kind of weird. But anyways, that trophy had significance to me because I was like, that is hilarious. I'm looking at the list. I look back and I see that thing. And I didn't have that like anywhere near me for a while. Somehow, I don't know when it showed up in my room, but that was funny. But when I'm trying to explain this, guys, I'm sorry. It's going to take a couple of shows to tell you guys what this is. Right. Like, it, as we keep going on and I'm done kind of explaining what my story is on how this got started, Josh here, I know we were going to do his video testimony. Mm-hmm. I said testimonial last time.
Yeah, and it's a testimonial.
So I'm going to say testimony now. So testimony. I took it old school. I took it way back.
Old Testament on us.
But anyways.
Testimonial.
Okay, let's just go on. But, you know, I feel like there was some questions for us that people were asking us, you know, and we had to explain it just a little bit more.
Right.
I don't want to throw everything out there.
Right. Yeah, we've been talking about this for weeks. Right?
Yeah.
And
it's changing.
Every time we talk about it, a new thing comes up. So the fact that you guys are asking questions does the same thing. The questions that you ask are going to spark a question in us where we have to rely on the Lord for the answer.
Yes.
Right. And it's awesome because I can see the vision growing, right? And we have to continue to do these videos to explain what it is because there's no way we can do it in one video.
Yes, and as we have more, because it's not just going to be me and Josh on the show.
Right.
It's more the fact we're going to start bringing people in. Mm-hmm. People with that are going to be flowing with what's going on. And then as we start doing these more, it's going to be like, okay, I kind of see what's going on here. But that's not the full picture.
Right.
The full picture is, it's massive. I don't want to throw it out there and vomit all over you guys because it's just, you're still probably trying to understand what it is.
Right. Be an overload of information.
So we're going to let the Lord work on this and we're going to let him take care of it because I'm not trying to go 0 to 100 real quick.
Right.
The Lord is he's right on time.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
He's right on time. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be in the right time for us to like finally get that where everybody's going to be like,
yeah,
I get the vision.
Making sense, and everybody will start remembering things that the Lord told them, right? Little visions that He's given them, little words that He's given them, and they're just gonna click.
Yes.
You know, everyone's gonna start clicking in with each other, right? Like everyone is intertwined like a web. You know? When one part of the web starts pulling, it pulls all the other parts, right? Yep. We're all gonna be connected, and I feel this is the gateway for that to happen. And it's definitely 100% like we have to get information from the Lord as we go, because if He gives us everything all at once, just like we can't do with you, it's going to be an overload.
Yeah.
Right? And so we're faithful with what He's given Matt, He's faithful with what He's given me, and He will increase that each time.
So as of right now, what me and Josh are doing is we're being the light to you guys. Being up here and being on camera is out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, me too.
So we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
We wanted to make this video 10 minutes long. I hope we're close to 10 minutes. We can't see the time.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
But we're going to cut it right here. We're just going to stop it. But what we would like you guys to do is like and share this video.
Yeah,
post it, subscribe. We got YouTube, Facebook. Do we have anything else? We have a website.
Yeah, we got the website. Please check out the website. Yeah.
So I think what we're gonna do for this next one, if you guys are watching till the very end, I know on the last video the watch time was like 4 minutes. People were sticking around for 4 minutes. I got all that algorithm, people. I'm watching.
Yeah,
you.
we're watching.
We're watching. But anyways, what we're gonna do is if you guys can comment on anything, like just Facebook, YouTube, appreciate it.
Yeah.
That we're gonna start giving away T-shirts and stuff like that. We'll do that on this next show.
Yeah.
So when Josh is explaining, we'll see if you guys can get some comments out there and
Yeah,
we'll
ask some questions. Yeah, spark something in us that needs to be sparked. Ask a question and it'll inspire an answer.
Yeah. So we're gonna start doing that for you guys. Maybe not buying the T-shirts on here, or maybe you guys want to buy a T-shirt, but maybe we need to give you guys some stuff and then believe in us. I really want you guys to believe in what we're doing,
Right.
and I think you guys will as soon as this starts connecting you guys.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you guys for joining Awaken's second video.
Right.
Tune in for the next one.
Yeah. Stay tuned.